who have helped me with so many things, making this possible for all of us. Okay, so it looks like it's setting it up. Should just be another minute. Have helped me with so many things, making this. Okay. All right. There we go. I think we're about ready to just actually get going here, everybody. Okay, so everybody can still hear me good? Okay, we definitely lost some of our audience, but sometimes there's technical issues when we're coming into a 3-day masterclass like this, and it's our first day in. All right, we get to smooth it all out. So we're running good from here forward. So I'm going to be recording our classes so that I can share the replays with all of the people who have told me they want that because they're not able to be here with us live. Okay, so here we go. All right. So hello and welcome, one and all. So happy to be here with you on this Tuesday in May here. So what I would like to do to start with, just to get us going here, is ask you a question. I would love to know how many of you can relate to, or because you've experienced something that is traumatic in your life, right? That overwhelm, those really elevated stress levels to where we're now moving into that field or that realm of trauma. And then you've experienced some type of health issue after that event, that traumatic event that you didn't have before. It could be a new allergy. All of a sudden, you are, sneezing in pollen season when you've never done that before. Or all of a sudden you are experiencing digestive issues when you eat a certain food that you never had a problem with before. Or maybe you just experienced some new type of pain in your body, in some system of the body. Something new going on in your body, a symptom that just wasn't an issue before. Could even be deep, unexplainable fatigue or even depression. Or have you found yourself in ongoing, sort of a relentless state of emotional stress or mental stress, and notice that it seems to be having an effect on your health, on your physical body? Well, this is because what we experience, trauma, difficult or challenging emotions, our emotional and mental states have a direct effect on our physical body. And it's deeper than that even. It has a direct effect on our very cells, our cellular makeup, and on our DNA itself. So I'd like to invite you to share anything that you'd like to share with me about that, anywhere that rings true for you. More than likely, many, if not all of you, can relate to this question, to this experience, to having this type of awareness even. So hello and officially welcome to our 3-day masterclass series, The Essentials of Body Energetics, How to Harmonize Your Energies to Heal from Allergies, Inflammation, Pain, Trauma, and more. I'm your host, Kimberly Carlson. For those of you that are new to me, my world of energy work here, I'm the creator and founder of Energetic Allergy Healing modality that has been clearing allergies, calming down inflammation in the body, healing pain and disease for people all over the world for almost 10 years now. So first of all, I would like to thank each and every one of you so much for being here with me today. I'm honored and happy to get to connect with you and spend, a nice part of my day for the next 3 days with you. My intention here is to impart information that may bring new awareness to you, and also to deliver healing, work with your energy, that will bring you benefit and support you in your healing journey in some way, shape, or form. That's my intention for our time together. And so I'll go a little bit deeper into sharing a little bit more about me as my own health story, my own healing journey is what's really landed us right here together right now. So for myself, I'm really no stranger to pain on all of the levels, emotional, mental, spiritual, physical. For as far back as I can remember, I struggled with intense allergic reactions, recurring ear and sinus infections, painful digestive dysfunction, skin issues, and really bone deep exhaustion and brain fog, swollen glands, recurring infections, all kinds of things going on. And this really went on for me for years until I learned how to work with practical, energetic tools and really created today what's become energetic allergy healing to address the root cause of my own physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual pain. So that in time, I was able to free myself of every single allergy, the chronic conditions and illnesses that have plagued my life for so many years. And since then, I have made it my mission really to dedicate my life to helping others who are looking for a gentle, non-invasive, easy, and yet effective path to reclaim really their inborn right to live free of pain and struggle. This is something I believe we all deserve and can all attain. And this is why today I do master classes like this so that I can share information and healing that has that potential to change lives and has been doing so for many years now. The information and healing that I'm sharing with you is really an accumulation of over 30 years of learning, life experience, and healing practice and experience. It's really, what's kind of this culmination of all of these different parts and components that has been my path here in life that's brought me here, has brought me to this place where it really is truly a calling. It's purposeful for me to create for myself, my children, my family, friends, clients, and students who are now energetic allergy healing practitioners as well, and people all over the world to bring information and tangible healing so that we can restore our health on all levels and really reclaim our energy, reclaim our lives. So this is an in-depth experiential masterclass series that includes deep healing journeys on each of our 3 days together. So for a little overview, we're going to experience deep healing journeys. So each day, day 1, day 2, day 3. So today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Throughout these healing components that we'll be moving through together, we're going to be releasing painful emotions and trauma, including grief, fear, anxiety, unforgiveness. We're going to be working to clear relationship trauma, death trauma, accident and injury trauma, and more. I'm going to be sharing the truth about allergies and a little hint, right? It has something to do with hidden trauma and how to overcome them, even if you've been struggling with them for possibly years or decades like I was. And I feel like we might need to check and make sure everybody is muted here. So let me just do that really quickly. And okay, there we go. Okay, great. I'm seeing some shares coming in here. I'll get to take a peek at those here today. And also the goal of this 3-day masterclass is to assist you in developing an understanding really of how allergies are intricately connected to inflammation, pain, and disease. And, so that we can finally, enjoy again, more energy, reclaim our health, and, at no matter what age or stage of life that we're in. And also, you'll be discovering incredible evidence on what is believed to be incurable, how that can often be healed when we work with our energy system on all levels. So you've already heard me mention those levels a few times. You're going to hear me mention them again, probably several more times in our time together over these next few days. But our energy system on the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual levels. We are multifaceted beings. So today for the healing, we're going to be focusing specifically now on heartbreak energy patterns, grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss. We're going to be working specifically to bring through healing and support for the heart, the lungs, and the thymus gland. We're going to be working directly with the heart chakra, and we're going to be clearing relationship trauma and death trauma today. So we're going to be going deep into some, tough and kind of challenging wounds that so many of us carry that can be really central or core to our health story, actually. What isn't working right for our physical body, or where we're experiencing inflammation and pain and, disease and so on. So before we dive into that healing, I need to share with you a little bit more about what allergies really are, what inflammation really is. And we're going to be, when I talk about that, when I say those things, I'm talking about sharing what they are from the energetic perspective. And I'm going to start off by sharing a really profound truth, a huge aha moment that happened for me. That was the beginning of deep, effective, tangible, even miraculous healing for myself, my children, my family. That's where it all started. The beginning of the work that I'm doing and teaching others how to do today. And here it is. All inflammation, pain, and disease that we experience, every symptom, from fatigue, depression, cancer, other autoimmune disease, all have allergies at the root. I'm going to say it again. So important. And it really is the theme to what I'm here to share with you through this experiential masterclass series. All inflammation, pain, and disease that we experience, every symptom, from fatigue, depression, glandular diseases, hormone imbalances, cancer, autoimmune diseases, all have allergies at the root. I had many health issues that I struggled with since birth that were, maybe if you could put it down to just a couple of physical things, were heavily pathogen related, viruses, bacteria, candida, those pathogenic microorganisms, and also digestive system related, which is the hub of our health, right? The hub of the immune system, the health of all the systems of our body, all the organs, all the glands depend on a digestive system that's working properly, right? All of this for me, all allergies at the root. And even though I was raised with a mother who was a seeker herself, she sought help and support beyond mainstream medical, which really brought her nowhere for me and all of the health issues I was having really from the time I was born. So she, over the years of my life, a young child, she sought out holistic health care. We ate healthier than most of the people and the kids I knew. We took vitamins, herbal supplements, went to naturopaths, acupuncturists, chiropractors, homeopathic doctors, you name it. And then I got older, and in my late teens and early 20s, when I began to connect with people and practitioners of various healing modalities that were really cutting edge for that time period. that really understood that our beliefs are programming. The traumatic, emotional, or even mental, or even spiritual experiences that we have here as human beings can create health issues of all kinds. And this grabbed me big time. And it really put me on my soul path, my life purpose. And I was hooked. And the rest, let's say, is history. Now, I can say that all of those things that my mother became aware of, that she sought out, alternative protocols and processes and pathways, they were helpful, right? I was able through a lot of those different things over time to free myself of some of the symptoms that I was challenged with, some of the pain that I was experiencing. But I was still stuck in all kinds of health problems, from chronic and frequent infections, those sinuses, the ears, the UTIs, all kinds of skin problems, rashes, eczema, seborrheic dermatitis, like really itchy skin from a really toxic liver. At one point, I could hardly sleep at night because the itching was so intense. So fatigue, exhaustion, right? Hay fever, brain fog, spacey, swollen glands, sore throats. I felt really stuck in these symptoms. And, I could find some improvement. Things would, get a little easier sometimes or ease up, but it would be so short-lived. And then I'd be right back into those illnesses and problems. I was also stuck in relationships and situations that were painful, endlessly frustrating, defeating. And I was stuck in lack in many areas of my life. Did you notice the correlation there? Stuck in health problems and stuck in my life. Yes, yes, yes. The two go hand in hand. I was so stuck and I didn't feel good. Then I became a mother at a fairly young age. I was 24 when I had my first daughter, and I saw my own health issues repeating in my children. And we don't want that for our kids, right? We want the very best for our children. So, it's one thing to suffer ourselves. It's really next level to watch our own children suffer, right? We just want love. We want joy, good health, abundance for our children. Thus, my dedicated quest to heal myself and my children, really kicked in strong. And then kind of fast forward, and here we are today with what has become the healing modality that I created just over 10 years ago now, Energetic Allergy Healing. And, we use the tools of this modality daily around here for family members, even our family dog who had some health issues that have so amazingly resolved. But what we feel, our emotions, our feelings, what we think, right? Our beliefs, our programming, along with unhealed trauma from our painful and overwhelming experiences that are literally stored in our cells, embedded or imprinted on our very cells, in our organs, our glands, our body tissues, are all directly affecting our physical bodies on the cellular level. Our cells are intelligent. They follow direction. All of this information, our emotions, programming, unhealed stored trauma, are all directives or instructions. They're directing our cellular intelligence, our immune intelligence, the intelligence found in every cell, organ, gland, every system of the body, how to be and what to do. So you may be asking, how is all of this connected to allergies? And I had said that allergies are at the root of these issues, our health problems, all of the various health problems that we experience. But to find a clearer answer here about what, how allergies are all connected to all this, we need to talk about what an allergy is from that energetic perspective. which is where we need to look when seeking to change or heal anything that is showing up in our bodies and our lives. We need to look at the energies, the energy patterns. Okay, everything that is manifest in our physical reality that we see with our eyes, that we sense with our 5 physical senses, is a manifestation of the spiritual, right? Or what is unseen, or what is not sensed by those 5 physical senses, which is what spiritual means, that which is unseen, right? Spiritual is the adjective form of the word spirit, which comes from the Latin word for breath and means the thing that animates life. So spiritual can be used to talk about anything that goes beyond the mere physical senses and perceptions, right? What we, energy, things that are part of us and that are around us, that are part of our universe that we cannot see with our physical eyes. So what is an allergy? We're going to start with one word. If I can just give you one word for what an allergy is, it's resistance. So when we have an allergy or a sensitivity, put simply, it is resistance to an energy, to something in our environment. And that can be our internal environment or our external environment. It's literally resistance within our connection or our relationship with everything that we're connected to. And everything is energy, right? Everything has its own energetic signature, its own frequency or vibration. You have your own vibration and it's unique. So what happens when we are in resistance to something? Can you connect with that energy, that of resistance, and how you feel if you're in resistance to something or someone even? Well, we fight it, right? We run away from it. We want to hide from it. It creates a conflict or a battle energy within us. Sometimes a battle between our heart and our mind, right? Our feelings and our thoughts. But when we are in resistance to an energy, to a thing, which has its own energetic signature, when we're in resistance to something, we fight against it. We hide from it. We reject it. Okay. That's or we try to reject it. That is resistance. So when we have an allergy or a sensitivity, which to me is the same thing as an allergy, put really, really simply, it's resistance to an energy, to something in our environment. And again, this can be our internal environment as well as our external environment. So let's go a little deeper with this, take this just a little further. So as I'd mentioned, right, everything has its own unique energetic signature. Dust, a common allergy for people, has its own energy. And dust, depending on where you live, has a different energy, right? Depending on what it's composed of, which is going to vary from home to home, city to city, country to country, right? Pollens also, and every single type of pollen has its own unique energetic signature. Pet dander has its own energetic signature. Again, that's going to also vary from animal to animal as well. So going a little deeper here still, you as a being have your own energetic signature made up of your various energy bodies, like your chakras, your subtle bodies, and your energetic or magnetic fields, as well as your physical body. Your physical body as a whole has its own energetic signature. Your digestive system has its own energetic signature. The organs and tissues that make up your digestive system each have their own energetic signature. Your liver, your stomach, your gallbladder, your pancreas, each has their own energetic signature. Large intestine, small intestine. Same with your endocrine system. It's going to have its own energetic signature as a whole. And then the glands that make up the endocrine system, your hypothalamus gland, your thyroid gland, your adrenal glands, and so on. All have their own unique energetic signature. Your hormones, different cells in your body, again, have their own unique energetic signature. This includes your DNA. It also has its own energetic signature. It's unique. And we can actually be allergic or in resistance to any or even all of these energetic signatures that I've just mentioned here. And oftentimes we are. If you think about what an autoimmune disease is, right? It's your body thinking parts of your body are your enemy, are a threat to you. And the immune system begins to attack your own body. So this is a very great analogy, really, that can really help us to understand this concept of what allergies are and how we can be allergic to really any part of our own body down to the very cells of our body. So to understand allergies, inflammation, and the pain that that causes in the body, we have to understand what resistance is. So I've named it, we've labeled it, resistance, but what creates resistance? What is that? We understand how we feel when we are in resistance to something. We've begun to look at that and talk about it a bit already, but let's connect even more of the dots here. So what makes up that resistance? If we break it down, it's made up of a lot of different things, actually, but I'm going to share some of the main sort of ingredients of resistance and that I also feel that you'll be able to relate to and understand. So if we break it down, it's made up of limiting or low vibrational energetic patterns, dense, discordant, or distorted energies. So I'm going to talk about what some of these are so you can really understand it. But resistance is made up of, the limiting beliefs, the programming that you have running that are a part of you. It's also the emotions that are stuck or trapped, can be within the very cells of your body, like guilt, unworthiness, shame, anger, fear, resentment, grief, sorrow, sadness, which we're going to be working with so many of these emotions together over these 3 days. Another one that's really important to talk about, though, and as I mentioned, there are actually many energetic patterns and frequencies that can make up these little packages of resistance that we have that create allergies and inflammation in the body. But the one I really want to focus on today is trauma. So another way that we can look at resistance is the word disharmony. And we can look at it as being out of harmony or out of alignment or out of balance within our relationship to someone or something else that we're connected to. And really, we are in relationship to and with everyone and everything, as we are all connected on some level and connected with all things on some level. So energetic allergy healing clears and heals those dense, low vibrational energies that make up those resistance patterns that are creating allergies for people. It clears these energy patterns on all levels, from all parts and aspects of you, your physical body, your cells, your DNA, your energy bodies. So chakras, subtle bodies, all of that, clearing them out of your field, restoring harmony with the thing or the energy that previously was causing an inflammatory response in your body. And that's going to be really fun when we get to talk more about that. And how I was shown to do this healing work and what has become energetic allergy healing today, how I was shown to clear that disharmony or that resistance energy and all the different energy patterns that make up that resistance or disharmony in order to bring you back into harmony with whatever it was that was previously causing that overstimulated immune response, right? An overactive immune response. So this understanding of restoring harmony is key. It's an essential objective of body energetics, of bringing back into harmony what is within us currently is currently in a disharmonic state. So I find that sharing an example really helps people kind of bring in that fuller perspective and understanding of how allergies are created. So I'm going to share an example here. This is one I've shared a lot when I talk about this work because it's really, really helpful. So say you're a child, maybe you're 4 or 5 years old, and you're at the dinner table having a meal with your family, and something emotionally overwhelming, possibly even traumatic, happens at the table. Maybe your parents are having a horrible fight, and that fight may have nothing to do with you, may only be about the tensions, the wounds, or the issues between your mom and your dad, but they're fighting. And as a child, you're sitting there doing your best to handle and process all of that going on between your parents as you are eating. And you're completely overwhelmed. As children, we don't have the skills yet or the ability to process these kinds of experiences. And as children, what's even worse, we tend to feel that what's happening is our fault, even when most of the time it's not our fault at all, not even about us. So what happens when we're in that experience, parents fighting or at the table, we're trying to eat our dinner, trying to navigate the overwhelm. We begin to experience many emotions like confusion, maybe fear, guilt, panic, and maybe other painful, challenging emotions. And also we go into survival mode, that fight or flight response. Stress hormones, inflammatory proteins like cytokines are produced in large quantities. This creates allergies. This creates inflammation. We feel threatened. We become ungrounded. And in those moments, your brain, your body, your higher intelligence begins to attach that threat to the different things that are big or loud in your environment and respond like they're the enemy. We go into resistance mode. And now we are in an overactive immune response, an overly stressed, overly responsive immune system. In moments like these, we can become allergic to the foods that we're eating, to parts of our own body, like our nervous system, our stomach, and so on. We can become allergic to our parents in that moment. I categorize that as an emotional allergy. And believe it or not, emotional allergies, and which includes allergies to people, are often key elements that need to be cleared in order for a certain pain in the body to release or a certain disease to fully heal. We can become allergic to ourselves. Remember how we talked about that autoimmune and autoimmune disease and what's happening within our body when we are experiencing an autoimmune disease. We can even become allergic to the emotions that we're experiencing in that moment or in those moments. And also to other energies that are prominent in the room. Maybe it's summertime and the air conditioning is on. We can become allergic to the air conditioning, actually. Maybe the sun was shining brightly through the windows, maybe shining in your eyes. You can become allergic to the sun, to UVA and UVB light in those moments. The bigger the overwhelm and trauma that we're experiencing, the more complex the allergies created from them will be. We become allergic to more of what's in our environment in those moments. But let's focus back in on those foods that you were eating at that meal. Your immune intelligence identifies what makes up the foods you're eating, the nutrients that make up the foods, for instance. So if, say, maybe you had chicken on your plate and maybe bread, you can become allergic not just to the chicken, but to the proteins in the chicken. You can become not just allergic to the bread, but maybe the gluten that's in the bread, for instance. And so on and so forth. Maybe if you're eating green beans, you might become allergic to those green beans, but you also, even more so, could become allergic to the nutrients, the vitamins and the minerals that are in those green beans. And we may now have allergies that we didn't have before this traumatic event. So we can become allergic to not just foods, but to what makes up the food: vitamins, minerals, proteins, salts, fats, along with, which are good things, right? We view those as positive things. They're the building blocks of a healthy body. We need to be able to fully absorb those nutrients. But we can also become allergic to the more sort of negative aspects of what we put in our body: food additives, chemicals, if they were present, and so on. Maybe there was maybe your dad was wearing a certain cologne, and maybe that trauma was really associated with your father, and now maybe you can become allergic to fragrances and perfumes in those moments, maybe that particular cologne. But often for people, that can begin to translate into a fragrance allergy that can become more problematic and more generalized than just a specific scent that you were smelling in those moments. So my work, I have discovered that this is actually where most people's food allergies begin, is the nutrients or the different components or ingredients that are in the foods that you're eating when you are emotionally overwhelmed or, in trauma of some sort. Now, with those vital nutrients in our foods, this is actually something I was also taught originally through the NAET Institute, but I've seen it firsthand over and over and over again, working to resolve people's allergies, inflammation, and disease. I've had people come through a program of mine. It was one of the original kind of group healing programs that I ever created, where I was working with groupings of allergies over a 12-week period, kind of working through different allergy groups to clear those allergies for people. And I always start with what I call the fundamentals, which consist of those vital nutrients that our bodies need and use to create a healthy cell, a healthy gland, healthy organ, healthy tissues, so that we can get the body rebuilding itself and strengthen that immune system. Okay, proteins, vitamins, minerals, fats, even sugars, salts, all those things. When we have allergies to those nutrients, we're not absorbing them the way that we're supposed to or the way that we need to, because we are in resistance to them. We are rejecting most of those nutrients that are vital to our health, to our well-being. And depending on, and this is common for people, and most people are not aware that this is even going on or that it's part of their problem. And for some people, if you have a really large allergy to maybe vitamin D, for instance, then you can be having, some very challenging health issues showing up because you're really not able to absorb the vitamin D, naturally from the sun through your skin, but also through vitamin D supplements. Even if you're taking the highest quality, the best, the most expensive out there, if you're allergic to it, you're not going to be able to absorb it properly. So I always start with those fundamentals, those vital nutrients, because those are what's really necessary to get cleared to fully resolve other allergies and inflammatory kind of patterns and problems. But through that program, I surprisingly found something that was very confirming of this truth, really. I found that some people were telling me that they were now able to eat foods that they'd been allergic to and hadn't been able to eat for years, just in those few weeks together in that program, where we were working on clearing allergies to those nutrients. And we hadn't even gotten to the week where we begin to clear actual food allergies. So again, that tells me a huge confirming story, right? That most of our allergies to foods for most people actually begin with those vital nutrients. So, what are some other ways or other reasons that we can have and do have allergies? Well, right off the start today, talking about the that facetedness of of who we are as a human being. Um, we're a mental being, we're an emotional being, we're a spiritual being, we're a physical being, we're a social being. We're so multifaceted. We are multi-dimensional. So it makes sense that allergies and inflammatory patterns are also multifaceted, multi-dimensional. And we, as sensitive sort of light workers or our heart-centered sort of communities here, um, which if you're here, I know that this is you. Um, you're the category, the group of people that are drawn to me and my work. So this actually has a little role that it's playing as well. So as sensitive people, sensitive beings, heart-centered, heart-driven people, how that translates is that, or what that means is that we are naturally compassionate and we easily empathize with what other people, other beings, or the animals on our planet, even the nature on our planet, are experiencing or going through, right? Our heart goes out to the pain of others, right? So what do we do? And most of the times we're doing this unconsciously. We're not even aware that we're doing this, but we do this. Well, we energetically take on other people's stuff, their emotions, trauma, and other energy patterns, which often produces similar symptoms that maybe someone that we're doing this for, even if it's unconscious, maybe we begin to experience similar symptoms that our best friend is having right now, or a mom, or a sister, or a spouse, or our children, or someone else that we're connecting with in our lives. And we do this. This happens for us a lot as sensitive, compassionate, heart-centered people. Now, so that's another way that we can have new allergies or, new inflammation, new pain, new symptoms showing up in our body. Plus, as sensitive, heart-centered people, I've noticed a very a connection that for me, doing the work that I've been doing for so long now is undeniable. And I have found that, as these more sort of spiritually evolved and aware beings that we are, sensitive beings here, we generally also have had early childhood experiences that sort of break or dismantle our boundaries. A lot of us experience abuse on some form, some level or another, or really traumatic experiences in our family units with our parents or our caretakers. So what happens when we, have that as an experience also, having experiences that break our boundaries, dissolve our boundaries? Well, we actually take on other people's stuff to an even higher degree. I could actually do a whole masterclass on this topic alone, as there's multiple reasons that we do this. The nuanced reasons that we take on other people's energy, right? Their emotions, their programming, trauma, and so on. And this also is it's a problem for us, right? The intention is good, like that compassionate, that care that we have for other people, right? But it actually creates new allergies and other health symptoms and problems for us when we do that. However, all of that said, right, the key to shifting this pattern, no matter the whys or the hows, is the same for all of us. It's spiritual or energetic healing. For me, those words are tandem, working together there, or on the same level, meaning same meaning. Coupled with, our commitment to self, right? Taking action to heal ourself. And of course, having the tools that are in alignment with us to accomplish that. As we heal our own trauma, our own core wounds, the emotions, those limiting programming, along with those other types of energy patterns that are creating allergies, blocks, and pain in our bodies and in our lives, we become more and more into our own power. We gain or regain or recreate stronger and stronger boundaries, which means less and less of that experience of taking on lower vibrational stuff from other people that's just not ours, right? And the results are so many benefits and results. Yes, we create stronger boundaries over time. We also come into a place where we are experiencing a more authentic relationship or connection with ourselves, and the ability to love self, right? Give ourselves that compassion, that love that so easily comes to us to give to other people, right? But giving that to ourselves is also how we heal ourselves. And the more whole we are, the more in our own power we are, then the more we actually are in a position, to support others that we love. So, but also as we dedicate ourselves to our own self-healing, we also, and we're clearing out trauma, and we're clearing out, limiting programming and emotions and all these things. We also naturally begin to make more and more choices and decisions in our lives that are in alignment with our heart, like our true self, aligning us with our most kind of direct route or path that holds our highest potential. We also begin to experience an increased ability to co-create our reality from a place of sovereignty and freedom. We begin to experience accelerated growth with less triggers, or we could say here, accelerated growth with a better ability to remain neutral on all levels when the environment outside of us, our home maybe, or in our family, or the collective, or the planet is in conflict, is tumultuous, or even volatile. Okay. Another way, when we talk about that word being neutral, another way we can kind of look at that as is being in homeostasis within ourself, within our body and our body systems, and within ourself on all of those levels of our being, right? The mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical, balanced and harmonious within all of our systems. This is where our body feels amazing. And this is our goal with healing, right? This is where we continue to step into higher and higher levels of self-mastery, right? Being the masters, the master creators of our own reality, which includes our health, includes our body, right? And how we feel in our body. And it also, we also begin to experience more flow, right? More ease on our spiritual journey, and a stronger, healthier body, which if you're here, I know that this is something that you're all looking for, right? You're on this path, you're looking for answers, you're looking for information, you're looking for support, right? To get healthier, to feel better in your body. So even though we've talked about several different ways that allergies are created or developed, there's actually a few other ways too. And I'm going to touch on just a couple more of these, and then we're going to move into our healing that I have planned for you today. But some other ways that we develop allergies, well, we can take them on or pick them up from our mother in the womb. This is a lot of my story, right? Coming out of the womb and just having health issues right from day one. So I know that many of you are going to relate to to what I'm sharing there. So children will often have up to or take on or have up to 80% of their mother's allergies. This is according to different studies that I've seen over the years. And actually, that particular study was probably at least 15 years ago. So I feel like we can maybe even take that percentage higher. Of course, that's going to vary from person to person, child to child sometimes. What we kind of pick up and take on skips generations. We could have a lot of different patterns that are presenting in our lives that are similar to our mother's mother, right? Or our father's father, for instance. But we take on a lot from, that's genetic, right? That's within our lineage, and we pick it right up from conception, really. So I always find this type of information super interesting to kind of dive into. So what a child really is inheriting from the mother when, say your mom's allergic to dairy. We'll use dairy as an example, milk or dairy. Your mom's allergic to milk or dairy, and you're born milk or dairy intolerant. You've inherited your mother's allergies. Yes, yes, yes. But what you've really inherited are her belief systems. You've inherited that little package of resistance that your mother has in her connection or relationship to milk and dairy. Her beliefs, her emotions, different traumas that might be connected to milk or dairy for her. And she might have that experience because she took that on for her mother when she was in the womb, or so on and so forth. Okay, so what we've really inherited are the energetic patterns that express in our body as allergies and inflammation. So, and of course, we also take on for our father, other members of the family as well when we're in the womb, and of course, in childhood. And we also inherit them, that genetic, generational, ancestral piece here. So again, what is it that we're inheriting? Well, we're inheriting those energy patterns that create the allergies, the energies that make up that resistance, that disharmony with another energy, which is creating an inflammatory response. So as sensitive ones that I feel most of you here, or probably all of you here, can relate to as being a sensitive being, we also often take them on for the planet. We can also take them on for the collective because we have compassion, and we have soul missions or soul purposes to serve and to support others, and to even help to heal this planet as well as life on the planet. So we can be taking on the allergies or that resistance, those resistance energies and patterns for the planet or for the collective. And there's one more way that we can be kind of taking on allergies. And I want to talk about this briefly. And that is through our life experiences through all time. So we're talking here about past life experiences. And I can give you a few examples here that I learned very quickly were very much entwined with people's allergies to certain things, and that it needed to be cleared on this level to grab the trauma, to grab the programming that is from our past life experiences, and it's with us in our energy field and embedded in our DNA and cells. So an example would be working to clear a grain allergy for someone many years ago. And it was a little bit kind of stubborn, a little bit tricky. This is when I was first created this modality and was just beginning to play with it. And going to clear that allergy, it's like we could get the symptoms to reduce, right? Not as much of a reaction to wheat when wheat was eaten. But we weren't quite getting all the way where we wanted to be with that, which is no reaction, right? And so just kind of tuning into the energy of this client and just asking to be shown, what piece of information, what do we need here to clear this allergy fully? And it became very clear that we needed to do some work on slavery type patterns and experiences in wheat fields, actually. And then I began to see this same type of pattern for coffee allergies, slavery, plantation type experiences and stories from other lifetime experiences. Or we can also be holding these types of cellular memories in our DNA that can also be ancestral, right? Or generational. We've taken it on for our mom or dad or whatever. So those are all possibilities. I've seen it also. There was a woman that had a sore on her arm, and she was like, no one's been able to know what it is, how to get rid of it. And she was an amazing healer and teacher in her own right, actually. And so I tuned into it and saw that we had to clear some of these types of patterns, trauma from slavery type experiences from cotton fields. She was allergic to cotton. So she was also a yoga instructor. She had all of, 100% cotton clothing, but she was actually allergic to the cotton itself. So once we cleared the different factors that were causing that, the allergy to cotton disappeared. And so did it was like a raised, sort of red, kind of angry skin on her upper arm. Disappeared completely and never came back. So these are the kinds of energy patterns that, for that full, tangible healing for, people, often have to be considered and looked at, and we have to have tools, healing tools, energy tools that can work on all of those levels, including that past life level, to have that 100% full healing for. So can allergies and inflammation be healed? I wouldn't be here in front of you if that answer was anything other than yes. We do not have to live with allergies. We do not have to suffer. We don't have to stay in that state of being. There are answers, there is support, there's help, and there is healing. And since we are multidimensional, multifaceted, complex beings, it makes sense that, again, I mentioned this earlier on, that our allergies, our inflammatory patterns are also multidimensional, multifaceted, and complex. So it makes sense then, stands to reason, that we have to have healing tools and methods that are also multidimensional, multifaceted, and can address the really complexity of energy patterns that are often creating a pain or inflammation or disease in the body. So with the work that you're going to be experiencing today and over the next 2 days, energetic allergy healing, it's clearing all of those energies that we've talked about today. It's addressing all of those different types of patterns on an individual basis. So, what all energy patterns you might have within you that are creating a specific allergy to something for you may be different than someone else that's here with us on Zoom with the same exact allergy. So this modality is, coming in on that energetic level and clearing out the different patterns that are unique to each of you as you receive it, to bring you the healing that we are, intending to bring through. So whatever the topic, the focus is, these tools of this modality are working to clear all of those dense, low vibrational energies that are connected to an allergy or creating an allergy or making up that resistance within you simultaneously, all at one time, on all levels, clearing it out on the spiritual level, emotional level, physical level, mental level. See, there it is again. There's all those levels. And it's also clearing all of those energies from all aspects and parts of our being, really from all that we are. It's clearing them from our chakras, our subtle bodies, our DNA, from the cells in our body. It's clearing it out on that ancestral level that we talked about. It's clearing all of those energies out where we have taken them on, where they're not ours, like from the collective, for the planet, our ancestors from past lives. And it's all happening all at the same time. And that's why we get the results that we get with these tools. That's why it works. That's why I use the word miracle and miracle healing so much when I'm sharing about this work, because I've experienced what feels like miracles, healing what's been said is incurable. So many of the health issues that I had growing up, my mom, in the medical fields just hit wall after wall after wall. Oh, there's nothing we can do. And big part of the issue for me as I got older, so mid-teen years, was Epstein-Barr virus, for instance. No one could help. Oh, get rest, get exercise. Well, I was so exhausted, it was all I could do to barely get through half of my school day and, then crash on the couch, when I got home, So, really hard to get that exercise when you're feeling, when you're in that chronic fatigue state that Epstein-Barr is part of for so many people. So, and now, I don't have to worry about Epstein-Barr virus. In all transparency, which I do my best to always be that person, and integrity with the work and what I'm sharing, and as transparent as possible. There are times when I experience stress or overwhelm. We live in a fast-paced, busy kind of lifestyle today. Sometimes it's overwhelming, sometimes that's hard, or whatever's happening. And that may be overwhelming, high stress. And there are times when I have felt that Epstein-Barr virus can get reactivated, in my body. But I know those symptoms immediately, right? Because I dealt with it so deeply and for, decades of my life, really, kind of coming and going with that. And all I have to do is, I have several healing tools as part of this modality that work with Epstein-Barr virus, and I can just run that for myself or family members or, anyone else, and shift myself out of that exhaustion, really quickly. And you can follow that up with blood work and see that Epstein-Barr virus is no longer active, or it's in a deactivated state. Your blood work shows that. So anyhow, results have been phenomenal. They've made it possible for me to be in front of you today, to do this work in the world, to enjoy my own life, my personal life, as well as my work life. So again, just really excited to be here with you and share all of this. And I also know that you're not just here to learn, but to experience this modality for yourself, right? You're here to receive some energy work, and I want to facilitate that for you. So we're going to move right into that component here of our day one call. It's time for our healing. And again, we're going to be focusing on healing for the emotions, heartbreak, grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss, and the most associated parts of the body where we, tend to store those emotions and can have kind of a more profound effect on the health of certain parts of the body. And for today, what those are the lungs, the heart, and the thymus gland. And the correlating chakra, the heart chakra. Okay, so we're going to be working with all of this today. I'm going to be bringing through healing also to clear out relationship trauma and moving into some really potent, deep healing work for death trauma. And I'm going to share a little bit more about the different tools, what's coming in for you as I'm running them for you. So that's me running the energy for you to receive here. And this is working for you, whether you're here live with me on Zoom or whether you're watching the replay. So you can just hold the intention that you would like to receive the healing that I have planned for you today, and you will receive that nice and easy. Okay, so just keeping in mind that healing energy work happens outside of space and time. So it's being transmitted through the recording as well. So just have that confidence that if you're watching the replay, you are receiving the healing that we're doing together. Okay. So the healing that you're receiving today is really from many of the activation style healing tools that I've created over the past several years. So I wanted to share a little bit about what that looks like so that you have and what some of these tools are, kind of what their focus is, so that you have a conscious awareness of what you're receiving. And that for some people really helps the healing to go even deeper. So the healing tools of energetic allergy healing are channeled as well as created through my own source connection, coupled with about 30 plus years now of study, research, and healing experience. These healing tools bring through transformational healing in focused areas and on all of those levels, all of those places we talked about today. So these are multidimensional healing tools. They also include many spiritual technologies to clear allergies, inflammation. We're working directly with your DNA, dissolving hundreds of negative programs, belief systems, low vibrational emotions, and other energy patterns that we haven't really talked about today, but energies like oath, vow, and contracts, and of course trauma, which we have talked about, and many other dense or limiting energies that we're holding in our physical body and in our energy bodies that are keeping us stuck in unhealthy patterns of all kinds. They are also bringing in new feeling downloads, positive programming, high frequency energies, light codes that heal, that spiritually evolve and create powerful shifts in your body and in your life in specific areas where we are focusing. Each healing tool contains an allergy healing component that is central to the healing and is clearing allergies to what is needed for the objective or focus of each healing. You'll understand this a little bit more as I share some of the descriptions of the tools that we're going to work with. And all of this is happening all at one time within all of the tools that I create that are part of my work here. And it's happening every time you receive them. And they're clearing multidimensionally. So through all lifetimes, timelines, realities, dimensions of existence and life experience, and on all of those levels, spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, for powerful healing, shifts, and transformation, often producing what I refer to as miracles, as I mentioned, as we are literally working to heal all parts and aspects of self. So I want to share a little awareness that can be important for people to understand, since we're working with emotions and we're about to really go deep with some emotional healing. When we're allergic to an emotion, which, as I mentioned earlier, we do become allergic to emotions, both positive and negative. And that emotional category includes people, can include places, events, as well as actual emotions and feelings, okay? And when we're allergic to an emotion, we're in resistance to that emotion. When we're in that emotion, when we're feeling that feeling and we're allergic to it, it's literally creating inflammation somewhere in our body. So we can probably understand that when we think about a negative emotion, a really low vibrational emotion like shame or guilt, anger or rage, right? Or unforgiveness, perhaps. But the same holds true for a positive emotion: love, joy, happiness, as examples. So this is extra problematic if we're allergic to a positive emotion, because then when we are in that emotion, it's creating inflammation in our body somewhere. So that's one of the sort of challenges of being allergic to a positive emotion. But another one is think about what an allergy is. That resistance, it's being in resistance to. And when we're in that state of resistance, we're rejecting something, we're blocking something. So if we're allergic to love, we're not going to be as open as we need to be to fully receive that. And love heals all things. Love is the energy, the highest, frequency energy that we need to heal ourselves and others and the planet and all of that. So it's really important to address these types of emotional allergies so that when we're experiencing different emotions and feelings, it's not creating inflammation in our body somewhere, right? But also so that we can navigate the world of emotion with more ease, right? If we're not allergic to an emotion, we're also going to be able to navigate those lower, emotional experiences that we still do experience. It's part of being human, right? But it creates an ability to help us to flow better, more smoothly, to navigate those states of kind of stressful or hurtful emotions, and to also not stay in them as long, right? We're going to feel it, we're going to process it, and we're going to move out of it. Okay. Whereas when we're allergic and we're just, really in those challenging emotional states, we tend to draw more of those experiences to ourselves that hold those emotional experiences that are overwhelming that we don't want. We're creating inflammation in our body when we're in those, right? And we tend to also stay stuck in those experiences for longer periods of time. So we're going to be addressing the emotions again of grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss in multiple ways today, multiple angles, including allergy healing. To bring through healing for the heart, the lungs, thymus gland, heart chakra, I'm going to be running quite a few different healing tools. And one of those is called grounding into Gaia, our fifth dimensional Mother Earth. And this particular healing tool helps you get grounded more quickly, so in the body and grounded. It's clearing out common sort of blocks or energies to getting grounded, as well as clearing trauma and other limiting patterns that might be blocking you from getting properly grounded and staying grounded, or moving into deeper levels of grounding than you're currently able to do. Because we're always, as we heal, we get better and better at being in our body, better and better at staying, getting grounded and staying grounded for longer periods of time. This healing tool is also bringing through allergy healing for my earth, elements, minerals, and metals allergy kit. I'll share more about those later, another day. But think of the periodic table in science class. We're clearing allergies to all of those things as I run this healing tool for you today, okay? And this is going to help you begin to absorb these vital minerals. And it's also going to help you to begin to release some of the more toxic type of metals that you've been storing in your body. All of those things help you to kind of regain or reclaim your health in different ways. So we're also going to be running a healing tool called Receiving, and it's just really working with, it brings in deep healing for the divine, feminine, divine, masculine aspects of self, activating receiving points in your cells and energy bodies, resolves limiting programming around and with receiving, brings in the energy of worthiness of receiving so that you can, receive more, more of all the good things that we're desiring. So whether it's healing, whether it's love or joy or abundance, this is a really helpful healing tool at clearing out what can be in the way of that for some people. Okay, and I'm also going to be running something called a healing tool called Reclaiming My Heart, and it's assisting you in calling really back parts of your heart. Again, we're talking energetically here, right? So we're working with your high heart chakra as well and your emotional body. To kind of bring back parts of your heart, anywhere you've given it to someone or something that no longer serves you, anywhere you've kind of allowed someone else to take it, so to speak, and you've never retrieved it. So calling back all keys or points of power, really, when it comes to your heart. And this is something we do as humans, in our relationships with others. So it's calling this back to help you to, um, be really more whole, more complete, the owner of your heart chakra, releasing energies that may be in there currently that aren't yours, and you're ready to release because they're not serving you anymore. So we're going to be doing that. And then there's also another tool I'm going to run as we're moving through a little bit of a process together that I call the heart breath connection meditation, to help you get in your heart, to help you get grounded and connected to your higher guidance systems, connected to source, so that you can, really more fully receive the healing work that we're doing today, and also be able to process and integrate it with more ease. So this particular healing tool helps you get connected to your higher guidance systems, clearing any blocks you may have to getting more deeply connected. And it's also resolving some common fears, programming the energy of fear that can hinder this connection for some people, fear of God, programming to fear God, trauma of abuse or suffering for God or in the name of God or religion or some spiritual tradition, dissolving anywhere we're too lowly or imperfect or unworthy of connecting to God. It's also working to dissolve anger at God, blame and resentment type of patterns that we may be holding towards God, and even working with guilt and shame from self-judgment of being unworthy of God's love and care. So there's quite a bit coming through for you in that healing tool. And then the death trauma healing I want to talk about a bit before I run it for you as well. And this healing is pretty much what you kind of grab from the title. It's resolving and dissolving trauma from pain and suffering experienced during the death process, right? Dissolving shock, panic, terror, grief, anger, even rage from the cells, the organs, glands, nervous system, heart, brain, your chakras, and clearing in that multidimensional way. So clearing from timelines, lifetimes of experience on the ancestral level and collective level and all of that. And it's also clearing trauma also for losing loved ones in death or from witnessing a death. It includes deep relationship healing for you with the person, place, or thing that you've lost in death, or maybe mourning that might be unresolved for you at this time as we work with this healing together today. And every time you repeat this healing, come back to this masterclass and go through this healing again, all of these tools will continue to work through deeper and deeper kind of levels and layers where you need it, and clear different types of trauma from different ages, different life experiences, including on that past life level. And it includes a lot of allergy healing, actually, but it's for a lot of things that would be more in that emotional category, like death itself, the death process, even death trauma. And then it's also clearing allergies to quite a few parts of the body as well. So the nervous system, brain, and heart, and also your heart chakra, high heart chakra. It's also clearing allergies to things like funerals, funeral homes, graveyards, graves, tombstones, burial grounds, cremation, caskets, tombstones, even priests and pastors, and burial itself. So there's a lot here for you, and I can already tell you're going to need to repeat the work that we're doing each of these days to really allow all the healing to come through and kind of grab it all. There's more than that going on there too, but I'm going to move on here because you're also going to receive the thymus gland healing. And that thymus gland is part of the endocrine system, but it's also part of the lymphatic system, and it's also part of your immune system. So it plays a big job, has a vital role in all three of these body systems, but it's very connected to your heart chakra, your high heart chakra, sits here on the sternum, right, with your lungs and your heart. And we're working with all of these because it can be also very affected by grief that is unresolved, or that we're holding as wounds. So we're actually receiving some healing, some allergy healing for all three of these body systems today. We'll be clearing allergies to all of the lymphatic system, the immune system, and the thymus gland itself. So one of the things we might be able to relate to a bit when we think about how our thymus gland is functioning for us, is it a problem? Is it not a problem? Emotionally, when the thymus gland has issues, one of the sort of patterns that tends to go with this is that people tend to think that they're under attack all of the time. And this creates immune distress and also lymphatic distress. So immune disease and lymphatic diseases. So when we have issues with the thymus gland, we more than likely have issues with confrontation and conflict. So we're also, even though that wasn't kind of the main topic of the healing for the emotions that we're working with today, with the grief, the sorrow, and sadness, we are working with other emotions as well, with some pretty powerful tools. So we're working with conflict energy, clearing trauma from our experiences that hold really stressful, confrontation or attack experiences, patterns, and brings in energies to help us to shift into handling conflict in healthier ways, creating stronger boundaries, which we've talked about the importance of that as well today, and dissolving programming and other negative energies that help us shift out of victimhood, shift out of battle and attack mode, which often creates inflammation in these parts of the body. Okay, it's also bringing in downloads to teach your thymus gland and lymphatic system how to heal itself and to work in balance, peace, and harmony with all the glands and organs that make up the endocrine system, that make up the lymphatic system, that make up the immune system. And you're receiving a lot of healing here for your physical heart chakra, and high heart with the tools of this modality as well. And then another healing tool I want to just touch on briefly, it's called Drop Your Armor. And I'm feeling very guided to run this for you today too, as it's working so closely with the heart chakra. It's a great tool to work with for healing the heart, opening to intimacy, as well as clearing energetic, kind of blocks for the heart walls and blocks that, keep us from, fully receiving love, really. And, really being able to experience that authentically in our relationships. Okay, so we're working with that today as well. And I feel like we're also going to be working with a tool. You're going to hear me say this a few different times. We're going to use it in a few different ways, and it's called the deep relationship healing. And this healing tool is complexly layered to bring deep healing to our relationships, just like how the name says. It's clearing many types of distorted patterns and energies that we're holding in our connection to others, patterns we have taken on or are storing in our body and our energy bodies. So this includes resolving and dissolving hooks, cords, attachments, some other energy patterns that are part of our resistance packets or whatever we might have that's creating allergies. Haven't got to talk about those types of energies yet too much, but as well as oaths, vows, and contracts, which are generally part of those resistance issues that we can have, that are creating disconnection and separation and keeping us stuck in painful patterns within the relationships that this healing gets directed to. So you're going to hear me directing this to in several different ways today. But it's also clearing past life trauma, clearing out low vibrational stress, overwhelm, fear, anger, resentment, guilt, and conflict patterns within the relationship that it's being directed towards. It's clearing distorted love patterns that are bound with conditions, unhealthy expectations, limitations, obligation. And there's also some healing in here and support for the thyroid gland and throat chakra. Clearing trauma and other patterns within the relationship where we haven't been able to say, speak our truth or voice our opinions or our wants or our needs, or where we have felt suppressed and possibly controlled. So it's the deep relationship healing tools that I've created. I have a whole series of these tools today. But they're working to assist us in reclaiming the parts of ourselves that we've disconnected from or rejected or abandoned in order to be in the relationships that we have. Anywhere that we're needing that, anywhere we've become disempowered in our relationships, so that we have that increase of sovereignty, sacred power, and wholeness. I think there might be one more thing I want to explain, because we're going to go on a little bit of a journey, a couple of journeys. So I think this whole healing process will take us about 15 to 20 minutes. And we're going to start with, again, the heart breath connection meditation, where we're going to really get into our body, get grounded, get connected to our higher guidance systems. There's amazing healing, like self-healing, that's activated within you just from this process alone. Many, many benefits, which I don't have time to share today, but you'll feel it. You're going to get to experience it. Okay. And then I'm going to run some of these different healing tools that we've talked about today. And we're going to go on another little journey in this sort of meditation style healing that we're doing. And I just want to share that it's a process that was channeled, really, where I was shown to kind of unwind specific emotions in a specific way and clear them from our energy bodies and our physical body in a specific way. And you're going to find that it's going to sound a little bit repetitive, but it's intentional, and it allows us to go even deeper, to release even more of the emotions that we're working with as we work through this little process. So I just wanted to say that up front so you know what to expect. And I think we're ready to go ahead and dive into our healing. And then I can take a look at any questions that you have. I invite you to share your experience if you would like to after the healing, as that tends to really benefit everyone when we share. And I'm going to record this separately as well here. So let me grab something that I need to do that. All right. So here we go. So I just invite you to find a quiet spot for the next 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not sure the exact time, but it's close. It's in there somewhere, where you can just be undisturbed, or just know that you can always come back to the replay and watch this again if you're not in a position or place to do this right now. And here we go. All right, so I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable, and drop down into your heart. Simply placing your focus, your awareness on your heart. Good. Beginning to now notice your breath. As you're sitting in your heart, just begin to breathe longer, deeper breaths. Finding a 5-second inhale and a 5-second exhale, if you can. Just nice, deep, rhythmic breathing. And I want you to imagine that you're breathing as if you're breathing in and out of your heart, so that you really begin to become aware of the incredible partnership that exists between your breath and your heart. It's nice, deep, rhythmic breathing. Imagining you're breathing through your heart. Beautiful. And as you continue these longer, deeper breaths through your heart, Let's begin to notice that there is a beautiful pink light that's all around you. This is the pink light of compassion. And as you're breathing those longer, deeper breaths, just imagine that with each breath, that beautiful pink light is flowing into your heart. You can imagine that your heart is beginning to glow with pink light. This is activating your self-healing abilities. It's activating your heart. Beautiful. Just relaxing into your breath, into your heart, and into this pink light of compassion that is lighting up your heart. Beautiful. And now continuing those longer, deeper breaths, just beginning to place your focus and awareness on the connection that exists within you between your heart and the heart of Gaia, our beautiful Mother Earth. Beginning to notice that beautiful ball of golden light in the center of the earth, the heart chakra of Gaia. Good. And just holding the intention to ground or anchor yourself in here, heart to heart with Gaia. And as you do, just see, sense, or imagine that beautiful golden love light from the heart of Gaia amplifying within your own heart. And imagine that golden love light is streaming into your heart, is also lighting up your heart, knowing that it too is activating your heart, even cleansing your heart space, your heart chakra. Good. Beautiful. And as you continue those longer, deeper breaths, let's begin to place your focus, your awareness on the connection that exists within you between your heart and the heart of your higher self. Allowing each breath that you take to expand you deeper into this connection, coming into a deep heart connection with the highest aspect of you that you can access in this moment. Beautiful. And just holding that intention to stay really anchored into this essential connection with your higher self. Good. And continuing those longer, deeper breaths through your heart, begin to place your focus, your attention on the connection within you between your heart and the heart of Creator, the heart of Source. Allowing each breath that you take to expand you within this connection, expanding you into source of source light as you breathe. Just beginning to notice or become aware of the beautiful iridescent source light that is all around you. Pure creation energy. And holding the intention to anchor yourself in here to the deep heart to heart connection with Creator. And as you do, just sensing or imagining that iridescent source love light streaming into your heart, amplifying within your heart, lighting up your heart. And just taking a moment to notice how all of this light in your heart, we have the golden love light from Gaia, we have the iridescent source love light, and that beautiful pink light of compassion. Noticing how they all combine together to create a beautiful rose gold light. And just noticing how with each breath, this rose gold light is expanding from your heart to fill every cell of your body and all the space in between. And how it's continuing to expand from your physical body to fill your entire toroidal field, so that you are in the center of a ball of light that's about 12 feet in diameter. And we're going to hold the intention here to stay really grounded, really anchored into all of this light and into these essential connections as we move into all of the healing that is coming your way here next. But taking a moment to notice how bright all of this light is within you and all around you. This iridescent rose gold light. Beautiful. You may even notice how loved you feel in this space, how supported you feel in this space. Good. I'm going to run a few healing tools to really help you to work with your heart, as well as really open you to the healing, putting you in that really receptive state here for healing. So I'm going to run the sacred light purification first, which also really cleanses, really purifies your energy field. So running sacred light purification, running receiving, reclaiming my heart, reclaiming my light, connecting to my heart, seeing to my heart, living in my heart. I'm going to go ahead and run connecting to source as well. So running all of these here for you now as you just simply sit in your heart and breathe. Bring these now, divine love and light, creator, change it. Beautiful. Working with the breath here to bring through the healing, the energies. Good. You may be noticing already that you might find yourself sighing or yawning. Could be some tears that come through. And that's you processing what you're already receiving. For some people, this is already happening before we even get to this part of our masterclass. So just relaxing into your heart, continuing those deeper breaths. And we're going to move into those next healing tools here. So in Divine Love and Light, run the death trauma healing, the thymus gland healing, and drop your armor. Okay, running these now. Creator, change it. Okay, good. And we're going to go deeper. So now I'm going to run the deep relationship healing for you with someone that you have lost, that perhaps you're still grieving for, or that you can still feel those remnants of deep sorrow or sadness. And you can go ahead and just hold that person or persons in your mind as I run the healing. So running this for you now. Divine love and light, creator, change it. Beautiful. So remembering that these tools are very intuitive. They're working with your higher self. You can't get it wrong. Okay, and where your intention goes, energy flows. So just holding that confidence that the healing is running to that, or to heal, to bring that healing to you for the relationship that you are intending it to, that you're holding in your mind. Beautiful. And again, you can come back and repeat this as many times as you want to go deeper, to work on different relationships where that grief exists. Good. Now I'm going to run the deep relationship healing for you again here. I'm going to run it for you with your physical heart, your lungs, for you with your thymus gland, for you with the energy, the frequency of grief, of sorrow, of sadness and loss. For you, with someone or a relationship that you have lost, that you are grieving for. This doesn't have to be from death. It can just be from loss of the relationship in general. Someone or something that you feel sorrow and sadness about that's coming up for you right now in this moment. We're also running the deep relationship for you with the parts and aspects of self that are burdened, that are heavy with grief, with sorrow, sadness, and loss. The parts of you that are grieving, that are sad, that feel sorrowful. And also running that deep relationship healing for you with the parts of you, the parts of yourself that perhaps you've lost or disconnected from, abandoned or rejected, maybe put on the back shelf and ignored, or sacrificed, maybe to please someone else, to make someone else happy, or possibly just to survive. I'm running all of that for you now, Divine Love and Light. It's all going, all running. Create or change it. Okay, good. Beautiful. And we have one final piece today. We're going to go even deeper now, really focusing in on those frequencies, emotions, those feelings of heartbreak, grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss. And this is the healing that's journey style and can sound a bit repetitive, but is intentional. So in Divine Love and Light, going back in time, starting from this now moment, unwinding back to the point in time in this lifetime where you experienced heartbreak, grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss for the first time. Sending that perfect divine light for you to clear these patterns in this now moment, all the way back to that very first time this happened for you in this lifetime. The first time you felt like your heart was broken. The first time you were overwhelmed with grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss. Unwinding, resolving, and dissolving all trauma, shock, confusion, all feelings and emotions that you're holding in your physical body, your subtle bodies, your chakras, your magnetic fields, and on all parts and aspects of you from that first event where you experienced heartbreak, grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss. Unwinding, resolving, and dissolving all of this back through the ages, starting right here, right now, at your present, in this present moment. Unwinding, resolving this back through the years, through the decades of life, going all the way back through your teen years and through your childhood, back through when you were a toddler, just a baby, back through the birth process, through all of your developmental stages in the womb, going back to the point of implantation, back to the point of conception, and even going back 3 full days into your mother's egg and father's sperm, clearing all heartbreak, grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss patterns and energies that you have taken on from your mother and her lineage, and from your father and his lineage, including all oaths, vows, and contracts to do that for your mother, your father, and your ancestors, and all trauma that you're holding from all of the times that you have done this for them. Healing and reclaiming those original aspects of self that you fractured off from due to the wounds you've carried from your experiences of heartbreak, grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss, so that they can begin to merge and integrate back in. And now we're going to repeat this process and take it deeper. Now unwinding all of those energies, those patterns, those emotions, going back through all time, all of the experiences, through all timelines, realities, and dimensions, through each moment, through all incarnations, going all the way back to the very first time you ever experienced heartbreak, grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss. Unwinding all connected trauma, shock, drama, chaos, fear, anger, rage, stress, anxiety, unforgiveness, resentment, guilt, shame, confusion, and pain. Unwinding all connected programming, belief systems, unwinding all energy patterns that are vibrating at a frequency that is less than love from each of those experiences, going back to that original lifetime, original timeline, that original seed point of creation, connecting all of those points to resolve and dissolve all heartbreak, grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss, energies, and patterns. Writing the deep relationship healing for you with all of the people and beings that you experienced heartbreak, grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss with. Okay, your priority is where the energy is going to run now. Also running the deep relationship healing for you with the parts and aspects of self that are holding those deeply rooted patterns of heartbreak, grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss. Bringing in the golden Christ-light healing to wash through all cells of your body, your chakras, subtle bodies, magnetic fields, through all parts and aspects of self that have ever experienced heartbreak, grief, sorrow, sadness, and loss. Bringing all of these parts and aspects back in for full merge and integration in the divine right time, in the divine right order, and in the most optimal way, healing and reclaiming those original aspects of self that were wounded so that they can merge and integrate back in fully now. Good. Just breathing those deeper breaths, relaxing into your body. You can take a moment here even to witness that third eye, sort of visual, witnessing these parts and aspects of self that have received deep healing today, that are beginning to merge and reintegrate within you now. For that return of sacred personal power and wholeness. Beautiful. I'm going to run a couple more tools here just to help to kind of flush out the emotions and these energy patterns that are leaving your systems now. So I'm going to run transmuting emotions, flush, defrag, the golden Christ light. And as these are running, if there are any remaining emotions that are coming up for you now, just relax into your heart, into your breath, and allow these tools, allow these healings to transmute them, to clear them, and bring the healing that you need to you where you need it. Beautiful. And we're going to go ahead and anchor all of this healing in. I found this is a really helpful component when you're doing healing work, is the anchoring process. So I'm actually going to run a healing tool called Sacred Light Close, which is going to help accomplish this for you really effectively. And you can also participate in your own anchoring process along with me here, holding the intention here to anchor all of this healing in to your heart and high heart, anchoring it into your mind, your higher mind, anchoring it into your nervous system, your cells, your DNA, anchoring it down into your Earth Star chakra just below your feet, anchoring it into the heart of Gaia, anchoring it into your soul grid and into all dimensions that are optimal for you now. Divine love and light, creator, change it. Beautiful. And we are complete. All right, so I said 15 to 20 minutes. It was 21 minutes. Almost there. Close. Those journeys do take a bit more time, but they are so effective. They really help us to not just process and integrate all that we're receiving easier and faster. But they also really help us to take what we're receiving deeper. So very effective. So I like to share, especially there's many of you that are new to my work that are joining me here, joining all of us here for these 3 days. So I do want to share some sort of tips for um, care on your end. So when you're receiving a lot of healing work like you are here with me today, and we'll be each of these days together, you want to drink extra water, okay, to help flush out the toxins that are leaving your body. The energetic toxins that are leaving the body are connected to physical toxins such as pathogens and pathogen byproducts and stored chemicals, and could be metals and all of that. So we go through a detox process. So you want to drink extra water, nice, clean, filtered water. Epsom salt baths can really help. That's something that's one of my favorite things to do. I like to add even a cup of baking soda in there just for that extra sort of support for my skin with pulling the toxins out of the body. You can take some extra magnesium, which is also helpful at kind of pulling toxins out of the body, as well as bringing, calming, that calming effect for the nervous system. Get extra rest if you need it. It's normal to have some things come up for you when you're receiving healing work, like this with these tools. So that can be extra symptoms or symptoms kind of popping up in your body that could be related to some of the allergies, some of the emotions, and all the different energy patterns that are clearing for you today. Could be emotions that you're experiencing, like maybe even though we're working to clear out grief, so that means grief can be coming up, and it could take a bit to really process that out, especially if it's deep seated grief. And in that case, you're also, please repeat the healings that we're doing together. And the replays will be going out to you. You're here. That means you registered to be here with me, and we'll be sending out the replays. We're going to do our best to send them out each afternoon after each day. For those of you that are trying to keep up with this daily, sometimes that doesn't always work out the way we think it will with technology and all, but we do our best to make that happen. And then you're going to want to repeat the healing. And it will process out, okay? When we have those symptoms flare, whether it's emotions, whether it's physical, that tells you you need this. Like, you're getting exactly what you're here. The reason you were drawn to join me, you're getting something you really need, and your body's letting you know, okay? And that's also a pretty good indication that you're going to need to repeat the healing to get through all the different layers and all that these tools are offering you, okay? So for some people like to repeat the healings like this daily for a week or so. There's so much here for you. We're really working deeply with the physical body in a lot of ways already, starting here on day 1 with the heart and the lungs and the thymus gland, for instance. So some people like to repeat these twice a day, maybe 6 to 10 hours apart. And some people even tell me that when the symptoms kind of flare, things come up, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, that they repeat it really often. Someone told me they listened to it like 9 times in a day, and it shifted them out of their symptoms just like that. So I'm noticing, like, comments are coming in here, and I saw a comment about, I have a headache. So if you have a symptom like that that's coming up, it's because of all that's leaving your body, coming up to be processed out, to be released and cleared. And if that headache doesn't resolve with some rest, drinking some water, please come back and repeat the healings. It will process through and the symptoms will abate. Okay, been doing this for a long time and it always holds true. The other thing I want to share is, since you have registered to join me for these 3 days and we're doing specific healing each of our 3 days, sometimes symptoms will pop up in your body because your higher self or your higher intelligence knows that what's coming tomorrow is something you need. And our body always talks to us, it always tells us. So that's something that could also be happening. And so I just like to bring that to people's awareness. 9 times I'd be sleeping all day. Yes. And if you fell asleep while you listen to this, while you receive the healing, that's another big indication that there is so much here for you that you need, and that you may have some resistance to some of the healing that's coming through. And what'll happen is we'll fall asleep to sort of get out of our own way, if you will, to not block the healing, because our higher self is like, I need this. But our human self is going, oh, I'm scared. What will my life look like if I feel better, or if this relationship heals, or, so our human self can really get in the way. So sometimes we'll fall asleep so that we can receive the healing energies that are coming through. So that's also an indicator that you're going to want to repeat the healing because it holds a lot for you. Okay. So Nicole, will the replay be sent out today? And we're going to do our best to do that. The video has to process, and we have to process out, and then we can send it out in the email. But yes, that's our goal. I'm so grateful for these several years of taking part in your healings, Kimberly. I'm not sure who this person is, but oh, Linda. This is not Linda. It's not telling me who your name is. I'm coming back a bit slowly from pneumonia and other symptoms. Okay, making me wonder if my body's still harboring Pseudomonas aeruginosa, bacterial infection I was diagnosed with and treated for in 2022. I'm replaying your Breathe Easy series. Glad to see that bacterial infection is in the list. I may have had yes. So coming back a bit slowly. Yep. So that Breathe Easy series is going to be really helpful. And I feel like, you're here with me now. I'm drawn to be here. So let's see what else comes through here that you're needing in our time together for these classes. Oh, you're so welcome, everyone. Oh, Letha, I fell asleep. Yep, Robin fell asleep too. Yes. Does that apply to animals? So also I can listen with animals together. Yes, Manuel. Animals love this work. When I got into a relationship with my current partner, he has a dog named Maggie who I love so much. Now she's my dog too, but she had some health issues and some skin issues, and was diagnosed with hypothyroidism and was put on thyroid medication. And I started working with her, doing the allergy healing work. And now she was also overweight. She's a healthy weight. Her fur is restored to amazing healthy fur. Her skin is amazing, and her thyroid is functioning so well. And they do have her on a little bit of that thyroid medication still. But the vet was shocked when they did blood work just a few months after I started working on her, and they had to reduce her thyroid medication to just a tiny fraction of what it was originally. So she's happy and healthy. So animals love this work, children love this work. So yes, just if you're a parent of a young child or a pet, right? Pet parent, just go ahead and, as you're receiving the healing, just hold the intention that your specific child or specific pet is also receiving the healing, and the energy will run for them. And yes, you can play it for them in the room, out loud as well, or even quietly in the background. But I think it's also really helpful when we're parents, even if it's a pet parent, to hold that intention that they also receive the healing as we receive it. And it works just beautifully. I'm going to try to look at some more things here. Oh, please help clear allergies to, oh, comments are coming in quick here. And for whatever reason, my mouse is not working right. I'm having a little bit of trouble navigating the chat box. I'll make sure that's resolved tomorrow as well. I had packed all my things, and taken them to an international retreat that I hosted recently. So some of the things I'm just now kind of getting back into here. So I'll have things up and running and more smooth tomorrow. So Linda, I do so appreciate you and all you bring forth. Much love and gratitude. Oh, thank you. You're so welcome all at the same time. Oh yeah, you fell asleep. So much of that. Yeah. Good. Can this work with sciatica? Yes. Amazingly helped so many people with sciatica with this work, clearing allergies. And a lot of times it's not just allergies to the nerves or skeletal system components, but a lot of times with sciatica, there are specific pathogenic microorganisms that have infiltrated the nerves and need to be cleared as allergies as well for that sciatica to resolve, but have helped a lot of people with that over the years, for sure. And yes, we can clear allergies to lectins and gluten. That's not really our focus here in this masterclass series, but you can also always reach out if you're looking for additional support for allergy clearings for different symptoms or problems. You can reach out to us at hello@kimberlycarlson.com. Kimberly is spelled with an I-E, Kimberlie. And we will gladly direct you to a program or a practitioner who can help. Yeah, okay, let's see. I didn't fall asleep, but I could go take a nap now. I'm not someone who can easily take a nap. If the sun's up, I am up. I know what you mean. I'm the same kind of gal. So I know when I'm processing something big, if I feel like my eyes are really heavy and I feel like, oh my gosh, I just have to go lay down like right now. And sometimes all it takes is like 10 to 20 minutes just to have that reset, that sort of for your systems. And, you can be back up and going for your day again. Not always. Sometimes I've had people tell me they fall into a 2 or 3 hour nap as they're processing the energy. I wanted to look and see if there was more questions. Oh, yeah, excited to repeat the healings. Yes. Oh, Josephina, thank you so much. I really needed this. Haven't been able to heal from the grief since I lost my husband of 44 years in 2016. Oh, bless you, my friend. That's hard for sure. So glad you're here with us and can allow these healings to bring healing through for you there. Oh, we'll be drinking alkaline water for the rest of the day. Perfect. That's helpful. Good. Let's see. Hi, Kimberly. Is the grief instructions part of some of the new tools or coursework? Lena. Yes, these tools, a lot of these tools are part of my advanced course for practitioners, advanced Energetic Allergy Healing Advanced Practitioner Certification. And then some of these are also available in a couple of other courses too. So you can always reach out and I can help direct you there. Lena as well, reach out at hello@kimberlycarlson.com. Oh, Cheryl, thank you so much for this experience of healing, giving yawns, tears, and burps as it's clearing. So grateful. Yes, all releases. Sometimes people cough, sometimes people sneeze, burp, yawn, sigh, cry. Yes, all ways of clearing and deep releases. Oh, Jennifer, yeah, tears, lots of energy to release. Oh, Aletha, wow, impressive. I want to learn this to help others. Water, water, and water. Love you. Ah, thank you for sharing that. And yes, that's my favorite thing is to teach others how to do this work in different certification courses that I do offer. Good. Oh, Barb, I feel the lightness of having released all of that. Wonderful. So also a question here. Thank you so very much. How many times does one need to be cleared? So I did answer that a bit, but it does vary from person to person. And so, one of the signs that you need to continue to repeat the healing is that maybe certain symptoms kind of came up, or certain emotions feel more elevated or intense, perhaps, and you want to continue to repeat the healings until those symptoms abate, okay, and calm down. If you know you're working to, if you know that you have trouble absorbing minerals, for instance, you want to probably repeat this several times as well, so that you're really getting any kind of larger allergies to minerals cleared, as that is part of what you received today. So that you can start to really absorb those minerals. So important. And then if you have issues with your heart, with lungs that are thymus gland related, that's also a good indication you're going to want to repeat these healings several times. So honestly, you all could take the healing from each of the 3 days and repeat it 2 or 3 times a day for 2 weeks, even 3 weeks even, and you would receive something and go deeper every time. Okay, some people continue to listen to them and they still tell me, oh, I still got something new. I still released something that, I was holding that I didn't have awareness of. And I feel, XYZ, lighter, happier, better. We had some amazing, I did a lot of this healing I did in when I got to do these master classes last year. And there were some amazing, astounding actually stories that were shared in a gathering that I did about 3 weeks after the master classes. It's a pretty miraculous healing that took place for quite a few people. So just again, thank you for being here with me and being on this journey. And I look so forward to seeing you tomorrow. If I missed a question, I apologize. I think we're going to have to call it good for today, though. But I will continue to stay on as I can and answer questions. And so for tomorrow, just so that you know what to look forward to, we're going to be moving into focused healing work for the emotions of fear, terror, panic, tension, and anxiety. We're going to be working with related parts of the body that we tend to store or hold these specific emotions, which are the kidneys and the adrenal glands. We're going to be doing specific healing work for the kidneys and the adrenal glands. We're also going to be working very closely and powerfully with the sacral chakra. And we're going to be working to clear accident and injury trauma, battle and war trauma, which can be inner, not always literal battle and war trauma, but it actually works to address both. And we're going to be working with clearing a lot of different types of earth trauma, earth-related trauma. So that's all tomorrow. And I can't wait to see you right back here on Zoom, same time. And I expect that to be 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on questions as well. Okay. So much love to all of you, and I'll see you tomorrow.